Good morning, everyone. The time is 10 a.m. Central here on Monday, November 7th. We will begin with our SWAC coaches availability here momentarily. Just a quick reminder, if you could please make sure that your lines are muted as we get set to start our media session. Coaches, we'll start with Alabama A&M head coach Connell Maynor. We will follow the schedule that we followed this entire season. Appreciate everyone's patience. Looking forward to your participation. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you.
Bad against the good teams and good against the bad teams. He's piled up some good numbers against the bad teams, but he's 8 for 20. I mean,
once again, please make sure that your lines are muted unless you're actively asking a question. If you do have any questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for our coaches. Please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up question. If we do have time and our coaches' availability, we will circle back to get additional questions fielded by our coaches. Please wait until you're called upon prior to asking your question, and we'll begin here in a few minutes. Thank you for your patience. All right, once again, good morning and welcome to our SWAC football head coaches media session for Monday, November 7th. Once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for our coaches. Please wait till you're called upon asking your question. With that being said, happy to be joined by Alabama A&M head coach Connell Maynor. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking some time to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing there at Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah, we went down to Mississippi Valley Thursday night, play on ESPNU. Great opportunity for both programs and the SWAC to get another game on national TV. And I guess it was a good game. It was a good game for them. They won the game 30-20. I don't think we ever led in the game. They got the lead and we tied it up, and then they went back down and scored. You got to take your hats off to Coach Dancy and his coaching staff. They did a great job of having their team ready to play, not quitting. It wasn't the season that they wanted, and his team never quit. They never gave up. they played like they was 8-0 instead of 0-8. And you know, we weren't ready to meet their intensity and their fight, and they won the football game. So again, congratulations to Coach Dancy and Mississippi Valley.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. We'll open up for questions for Coach Maynor. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta, Dr. Bill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Maynor.
Good morning, Doc.
Good. Wanted to talk a little bit about the Valley game that you did. You were able to put up some yards in terms of passing, but the turnovers, both in terms of interceptions and fumbles, seem to be costly in that matchup. And that's been a trend that is certainly that I'm sure that you're not happy with. Talk a little bit about the need to take care of the ball during any football contest, particularly with your team.
Correct. We had four turnovers, and you could say 5 or 6 because we went for it on fourth down twice. One time was late in the football game, and you know, you can't turn the ball over 4 or 5 times against a good football team. And that's what Valley are. They play hard. I told my team before the week started, this is going to be the best 0-8 football team you ever going to play. And they proved me right, and they took it to us. So yeah, but the turnovers, you can't beat anybody turn the ball over 4 or 5 times. Yeah, we did put up a few numbers, but at the end of the day, the only stat I care about is the W's and the L's. So we got the L.
Moving forward, you move on to Jackson State, that obviously is 9-0, just the opposite of the team you played in terms of winless. They've been able to win every game. Top 5 in terms of the country, in terms of their ranking, obviously number 1 in most HBCU rankings. What are some things that you see in that matchup that you still think your team is able to get done to come away victorious?
Man, I'll be honest, I don't know. They got Coach Sanders has done a tremendous job in putting together that team. The team is better than the team he had last year. Of course, Shadur is playing excellent quarterback. And when you got a quarterback, man, it always gives you a chance. And he got the best in the league, and he gives them a great chance to win every week. He got two, 3 running backs that they go to that all are capable of getting the job done. He revamped that offensive line from last year. It's even better. You got 4 wide receivers that you can go to. You got Travis also, Hunter, that plays some wide receiver and DB. Then you go to the defense, and got the best defense in the nation. The number 1 defense, they give up like 7-8 points a game. That D-line is tremendous. And, of course, they led by Aubrey Miller Jr. at linebacker, the best in the business. Then that secondary, those guys just play lock up, man. I got him, you got him, let's go get it. And they're doing a tremendous job. They don't allow a lot of points and or yards. And that matter, they number 1 in everything. So it's gonna be tough. We look forward to the challenge. We're gonna show up in Mobile and give it our best and see if we can't keep this thing close and see if we can't make a play in the 4th quarter. That's all we can do.
Certainly. Thanks, Coach. Look forward to the matchup. Great points.
Next question goes to Mo Carter.
Hey, Coach. So obviously, you know, the loss to Mississippi Valley was definitely tough. What's the mindset of your team right now, coming from that and then rolling into the game against the team that's won the SWAC last year and now leading the SWAC once again?
Yeah, it's you know, it wasn't very good over the weekend. Playing on national TV in Mississippi Valley and losing that football game, a game that we thought we could win, and we didn't do it. And so that's very deflating. But then you got to put it behind you, and you got to get ready to play the best team in the league, which is Jackson State. And like I just said, they got everything going for them. They got the best quarterback. They got the best team. They got the best defense. Coach Sanders has done a super job of getting his guys ready to compete every week. And that's what they've been doing. So, again, we look forward to the challenge. It's going to be a great challenge, and we have to play well. We have to play perfect football if we want to have a chance to play with these guys.
And obviously, Mobile is an area that has been rich when it comes to recruiting for Alabama A&M, a pretty large alumni base for the Bulldogs down there, too. But as we looked at the numbers, Jackson State's fans, they've been traveling quite well, throughout the years, especially these last couple of years with Coach Sanders at the helm. So when it comes to fan support and whatnot, what are you looking for your fans, to try to help you, kind of make this a half and half ordeal down, since this technically is a neutral site game?
Well, I think this game is sold out, and I think it's been sold out for a while. So hopefully it'll be about 50-50. Our fans have bought up tickets, and Jackson fans have bought up tickets. Hopefully Jackson fans didn't buy them all up before I got a chance to buy them, and we can use that 12th man to help us out and get us fired up and help keep us in the game.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Mo.
Currently taking questions for Coach Maynor. Any final questions for Coach? Coach Maynor, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you, Andrew. I just want to congratulate all the coaches this past week that hit W's.
Appreciate it, Coach. We're a few minutes ahead of schedule for Coach Robinson's availability. We'll pause here momentarily. We'll be back. Patience. All right, next up, we will go to Alabama State and head coach Jr. You see that we have. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, we went down to Bethune-Cookman down in Daytona to play. It was their homecoming. So it was my first time actually going to the stadium, and them new to the SWAC. I don't think any of my players had been there before. So it was a great environment. We got off the bus, the concert going. So it was just a great HBCU SWAC environment. They did a great job for homecoming, getting the people in there. And we got off to a good start, got up on a 7-0, and then we were driving again, trying to kick a field goal. The field goal got blocked. Coach Simmons had the guys playing hard, and they came back and went down the field and tied and got 7 and took the lead. And next thing you know, I think we were down by 6 at the half, so we had to kind of regroup. So those guys played really hard, and game kind of went back and forth. We were able to get control of the game with a late punt return, and our quarterback D. Davis played really well. Had 2 rushing touchdowns. I think he was probably the difference in the game, probably one of his best games he had. But I mean, their quarterback Jones, he was just as good, and he kind of kept them in the game and did a lot of things running the football, making some great plays. So it was a back and forth game. I think it was a lot closer. The final score was 37-22, but it felt like the game was a lot closer than what it was. Never felt like we really had control of it, going all the way down to the end of the game. So they played extremely hard, and we were able to get out of there with a W, which is the most important thing, and good for our kids to go on the road and get a SWAC victory on the road. And now we get to play FAMU at home. We have a lot going on this weekend: Military Appreciation Day, Hall of Fame weekend, and everything like that. So it'll just be another great SWAC crowd in Montgomery. So we're looking forward to it.
Appreciate those comments, Coach Robinson. And Albert, for questions, first question goes to the Yard Sports.
Good morning, Coach. This is Dwayne Nash from the Yard, HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. How are you this morning?
Pretty good. How's it going?
I'm doing wonderful. This is Bama State's first 3-game win streak since 2017, and the first time that the program has won 6 games in a season since 2015. Can you talk about the improvement of the program under your first year there at the helm as head coach?
Yeah, we talked about that with the kids. We had season's been up and down. We win 2 games, lose 2, win a game, lose a game. So we've been kind of going back and forth. So we kind of emphasize that. Let's try to get on the streak. Let's try to win a couple. I think overall it's a lot of the same kids that were here. And so guys are just playing hard and believing in it. I think we've won a lot of close games, which is always important. We had a couple games we've had to come back and win. So just trying to instill in the kids of never give up. A lot of times it's a long game. It goes your way. It kind of goes back and forth. So I think we still have a long way to go from where our goals are. But for taking that first step, I think we're moving in the right direction.
All right, Coach. And a quick follow-up. Big win this past weekend out there in Bethune. Can you please talk about the play of Santo Dunn, and what do you believe that your team needs to do better in order this week when you face Florida A&M at home?
Yeah, well, I mean, Santo, he was a SIAC Player of the Year. So this is a guy that we know he can play. Just had, trying to find out how to get him the ball in a lot of different ways. And so he got back there on the punt return and made an electrifying play at the time. That was the biggest play in the game. It really just gave us that spark to get us to the finish line. The game was kind of going back and forth. But he does a lot. I mean, he can line up at receiver, line up at running back, and just, whenever he touches the ball, you always feel like he's one missed tackle away from going, 80 yards. So you like to have those type of players on the field. Great character kid. He's a graduate, transferred in, and so he's doing a great job for us this one year. And I think with the FAMU game, the biggest thing is we just have to finish in the red zone. The games where we didn't turn over and we finished in the red zone, we've done well. My young field goal kicker, freshman, he made a big kick for us in this game, early in the game. So, we're putting him out there with confidence, and he's answering that bell. So if we can put points in the red zone and not turn the ball over, I think we'll have a fairly good chance.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. And Dr. Willie Hooker says hello.
Absolutely.
Next question goes to G. Thomas.
Hey, how you doing, Coach? Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
I'm going well. My name is Gerald Thompson. I'm from the Tallahassee Democrat. So you got FAMU coming to town this week. Both teams are really surging. FAMU, they're on a 7-game winning streak. And as mentioned, y'all are on a 3-game winning streak. So just tell me about, the clashing of those two, very good teams, with, as the regular season is beginning to come to a close.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we used to play FAMU in the Gulf Coast Classic when I was a student back in the late 80s. We played them in Tallahassee one year, and they would come to Mobile. We would go to them. And so I think it's geographically, we have a lot of people from Alabama, South Alabama, Montgomery that go to FAMU and vice versa from that area come up here. So I just think it's two schools that really need to start a really good tradition. I'm pretty sure it's their first time coming to Montgomery. If not ever, it's been a very long time. And so I think it's just going to be just a great home and home, playing them every year. We went down there last year. They'll come to us every year. I think it's just going to be a great tradition. Two teams that are playing well right now. And, we know what they bring to the table. I mean, to me, they're every bit as good as Jackson, throwing the ball around. They do a lot of great things. So defense is going to have to play really hard to try to slow that down. But I think this is going to be a start of a really good, SWAC East rival, playing them every year, going back and forth. They have a really good band, and we feel like we have a good one too. So I think it's just a lot of matchups. It's going to be just a really good SWAC weekend, a good HBCU weekend.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Next question goes to Ken Rashad.
Coach, congratulations on the win. I am going to pivot just a little bit and ask you a question that's more so to do with the voting with the national midterm elections scheduled for tomorrow. Just wanted to talk to you to see if you've had the conversation with your players about the importance of voting and the need to participate in the process of voting. Is that a conversation that you've had with your players?
Yeah, well, I think it's something, sometimes you get so caught up in the microcosm of football and everything we're trying to do. We have a tight schedule every week, but yeah, it's something that definitely talk to them about. A lot of those young men are away from home, and sometimes you don't feel the importance of voting because you're in your community, this community, but we always realize it. And especially, you're in Montgomery, so it's the birthplace of the civil rights. So I think it's something that you have to talk about and encourage the kids to do. And probably we could do a little bit better job of it. So I think it's something that we need to me personally need to put more as a higher priority for those young men, just to let them know whether it's absentee or voting in Alabama, that is something that you have to think about and participate in.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Yep.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta with Dr. Cavills inside the HBCU Sports Lab. You talked a little bit, or were asked a little bit in regards to the win streak, and then about the potential of this game being a rival after playing it as a non-conference game back when you were in school. Talk a little bit about this matchup in regards to both teams playing really well in the division, and being the proximity of why that makes it unique in terms of the fans being able to travel to both institutions, your expectation of what that looks like in ASU Stadium.
Yeah, just hoping for a great crowd. I think they have a really good team. They coach really well. They've been right at the top of the East. They were really good in the MEAC, competing for championships for the last couple of years. So we know the history and tradition of FAMU. I lived in Jacksonville for 7 years, and anybody in Florida, that's all you hear about is the Rattlers. Strike, and strike again. So I think it's going to be big for us. Playing at home, to see if we can step up to to the level of one of the better teams in the conference, especially in the East. And we have aspirations of winning the SWAC one day. We're going to have to be able to beat FAMU, and that's my message to the team. But we have to, hopefully we'll be up for the challenge. We're going to play hard and just see if our skill level matches up with theirs. We know they have a lot of speed, and Florida team and that type of stuff. So it should be a great one. And then we get to go back to them next year. So going back and forth is something that we're looking forward to match up against the good teams. And I think our fans will get into this game going back and forth. It's not that far away to Tallahassee, and it's just going to be a really good game, something that I'm looking forward to in the years to come.
Second part of my question is particularly with the defensive side of the ball of what your Hornets are able to get done over the year, playing against what they're going to try to do offensively. And I know you have the game within the game, but I'm really intrigued about the matchup with Xavier, your defensive backs, what that will look like in terms of this particular matchup. Any thoughts in terms of what has to get done?
Yeah, well, I think to me, it starts with pass rush. No quarterback likes to be hit, and I think that's what you have to start with. You start with trying to get a pass rush. You have to manufacture it. You have to, be smart with what you're doing scheme-wise. And, Coach Lewis, my defensive coordinator, has been doing a really good job. So it'll be a good matchup. He's played at Bethune-Cookman, and he coached at Bethune-Cookman, so obviously he knows FAM really well and things that they like to do. So I think at the end of the day, you still have to get the kids to be able to know what the coaches know. And I think, Keenan Isaac, my cornerback, has been playing really well at a high level. So it'll be a big challenge for all of those guys in the secondary, Ershaw, Davis, those guys. So it's going to be a challenge, and that's why you want to play. You want to play in these big games late in the year. And I think the guys are going to go up there and we're going to play hard and compete. And the good thing is we get to see where we are. You know, it works out well. We know we hit the measuring stick. If it don't, we know we have to go back to the lab and work a little bit harder to get to that level.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup.
Appreciate it.
Coach Robinson, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Next, we go to Alcorn State. Coach Fred McNair. See, we have Coach with us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, man.
Coach, as always, I appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Prairie A&M.
No, it was a great ball game. Thought Coach McDowell did a great job getting those guys prepared to play football. In terms of Prairie View, we go up 9 at the half, come back out and give up 2 touchdowns. Start of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. We was down. We scored a touchdown late in the fourth quarter to tie it up. Game going overtime, and we was able to come out and we get the ball first in overtime, and we score. Defense played a heck of a ball game as well to get them bagged up, and for fourth down and about 35, they threw a ball in the end zone for a pick. So it was a great game. Thought our team played extremely hard. Thought both offense and defense played their lights out. Special team came up with a punt block across the board. We didn't turn the ball over. I think that's the difference in the ball game. We didn't turn the ball over. I think just to end that with that, no turnovers, and come out with a great victory, a great football program in Prairie View.
First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta, Dr. Cavill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab. Coach McNair, congratulations on a strong road victory. Talk a little bit about Trey Lawrence, a sophomore, first start, getting into action. The fact, as you said, defense played really well, but he came in there and did everything he needed to do offensively, particularly not turning over the ball and giving your team a chance as they came out on top.
You know, Trey is a excellent kid. Practice extremely hard in terms of what we asked him to do during the course of practice week, preparing himself for a start each and every week. You know, that's why we prepare our young men to play as if they're going to start every week. So I think he's prepared himself for it. Got in a little bit down at Grambling a week prior to going to Prairie View. Came in and did an excellent job. Came in and took control of the offense and ran the offense very well. I think we put him in position to be successful for one in those terms. Like I said, he didn't turn the ball over. Understanding the importance of not turning over leads to wins a lot of times, and we didn't turn the ball over. So I think he played a pretty good ball game as we managed him in the course of the ball game in terms of what he had to do to be successful. First start on the collegiate level, I thought he did great. Handled the pressure very well. Everything the Prairie View sent out of me, he stood in there strong and threw the ball well. And if he had to escape the pocket, he did that too. So very proud of the young man. His first start on the collegiate level, being able to come out with his first win as well.
Most certainly. Going into this next game, as you have Bethune-Cookman at home, Howard continues to run extremely well. You're able to put 218 total yards in that last game, but he ran 125 yards on 29 carries and really got in the end zone in terms of 1 touchdown. Talk about what he needs to continue to do along with your quarterback play and the strong defense in this next matchup against Bethune-Cookman.
You know, the biggest thing is just continue to do what he's doing. I think he's playing lights out. In terms of what we did rushing the football, you're talking about 218 yards of rushing. You know, that's big for us. You know, we try to run the football first and open up the passing game. So I think that what we're doing kind of complementing each other in the passing and running game. We threw the ball 22 times, of course. You know, something we're gonna just try to do every week. We got a young quarterback, and I think he can handle the task. The playbook is still open, so we're not gonna cut it down because of him, because he's been through it already through the process of spring and the training camp. So he know what we expect. So it's on his shoulders right now. So he's carrying himself in a good way. He's feeling confident a little bit. So that's the thing that we look at. So Howard, you know, he's gonna be Howard. Howard's gonna run the ball hard, continue to lead this program and on offense and run the ball the way he's normally run it. So I'm very excited about having that young man here with us.
No doubt. Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend. Look forward to the matchup.
Thank you, Dr. Cavill.
No, sir. No problem.
Currently taking questions for Coach McNair with Alcorn State. Any final questions for Coach? Coach McNair, as always, we appreciate your time. We look forward to speak to you again next week.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, we're a few minutes ahead of schedule for Coach Sims with the Bethune-Cookman's availability. We'll pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Next up, we go to Bethune-Cookman and head coach Terry Sims. I do see we have Coach with us. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach Sims, as always, we Appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Alabama State.
Well, I think, it being homecoming, great atmosphere. A lot of our alums, a lot of fans showed up for the game. We ended up having to, play a really tough Alabama State football team. Went in 16-10 at the half. Thought we played a good first half, a solid first half in all three phases. We came back out after halftime and made a few mistakes. And honestly, 3 big plays, and that kind of put us in a bad position with the football game. Don't think we played terrible. We didn't tackle as well in the fourth quarter as we did, the first 2 quarters. But I saw some bright spots, and we fell asleep on special teams one time, and they got an onside kick on us, which set them up, for good field position to go down and get points out of that drive. But our defense is playing better. They're holding up. We're getting some guys back slowly. We'll have 2 more guys back this week on our defensive line. So looking forward to that, and hoping that we have a better total game. Good first half, sometimes good second half, sometimes got to put 4 quarters together and play the whole time. And we know we're going to play a great team in Alcorn State this weekend.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach Sims. Now open it up for questions. If you do have any questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for Coach Sims. Currently taking questions. Coach Sims, obviously this week your team will face Alcorn State. If you could just kind of talk about a little bit that matchup, obviously the exposure of the game being designated for HBCU Go, so a national broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you play an Alcorn State football team, and that's just Coach McNair and his staff, he's always done a great job with that, preparing his guys. They're going to come play. They're going to play hard. They're going to play hard. They're going to run around on defense. And, I was just watching film a little while ago, and I thought they had 13 people on the field. They were running around so much. They run and hit. They find the football. They do what all great defenses do. And, offensively, they're doing what their guy can do. And that's the main thing. And a lot of coaches hadn't figured that out yet, but he's managing the game. And that's all you need for a good quarterback to do, is manage the football game and distribute the ball where it needs to be. And that's what they do, and they're solid on special teams. So we know we have our work cut out for us. We have to get back to the drawing board and prepare for these guys and travel to Mississippi on Friday and get ready for a great football game on Saturday.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta with Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach Sims, as you talked about excitement for your team, homecoming, playing really hard, but not quite getting it done. Talk about the play in terms of what your defense is able to do, in terms of trying to turn over the ball, play physical up front, but they're giving up some points this last couple of games.
Yeah, they have. And again, it's like I said, it's 3 big plays, and they all come from, a guy playing out of his gap. Something simple can cost you, 30, 40 yards on a run. With a guy, linebacker or defensive lineman playing out of the gap. We had a long pass where our 2 of our DBs got mixed up on a coverage, and they end up scoring on a long play there. So those are things that we have to eliminate. It doesn't happen often, but when you play good football teams, when those things do happen, then usually you pay for them, and the cost is big. So we have to make sure we stay away from those things, take care of the football offensively, and we got to stop the run on defense. And I think we did that for the most part on Saturday. Like I said, we had 2 guys play out of gaps twice, and it cost us. So I think we just have to do a better job of continuing to keep our defensive linemen fresh and rotate those guys in so we can not have MAs at crucial moments in the game.
This week you face Alcorn, sophomore quarterback, I should say. They got his first start on the road in a tough environment last year. but more importantly, coming in that they like to run the ball, and Howard has been extremely good at doing that, over 1,000 yards already on the season. Talk about what you saw on film from him and how you schematically going to talk about the importance of those gaps with a player like him coming into the matchup.
Well, I think, first and foremost, you have to give credit where credit is due. And he's an exceptional back. Can't take anything away from that. He's a hard runner. You can tell the game means something to him. You can tell he loves to play the game because he runs hard every play. He's a guy that you don't have to worry about looking for him. He'll be there and he's going to let it be known where he is. So we have to do, just like I said, we have to have gap integrity. We have to make sure that we're playing off our blocks and that we wrap up on this guy because he will run out of arm tackles. He is that type of back. So we just have to make sure that we're doing those necessary things where we're playing with gap integrity. We're making sure that we're not allowing their offensive line to create a new line of scrimmage and allowing him to get started. That's the thing. A back like him, you have to stop him before he gets started. And, once you give him a 2 or 3 yard start, then it's tough to bring him down. So we want to go ahead and stop him before that happens.
Do I have time for one follow-up question?
Yes, sir, you do.
Thank you. Want to talk about your quarterback play. Jalen Jones seems to continue to improve and get better on the season. Didn't throw an interception, got a touchdown pass last weekend. How do you see his improvement in terms of leading the offense thus far this season?
I thought, Jalen's play has been great. We've just been trying to get him to understand that he has to get down sometimes. I think sometimes he thinks he's a running back. He want to run over people, but we have to make sure that he gets down and he does what he needs to do to protect himself. But I think he's played solid. 2 games before, he had a couple of turnovers, just trying to force some things. But at the end of the day, he does exactly what he needs to do to, I think, help move this offense down the field. And he's been doing that so far.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend. Look forward to the matchup.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question for Coach Sims, Cookman. Coach Sims, as always, we appreciate your time. We do got one final question that'll go to Ken Rashad.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Coach, I do want to ask you, and I'm going to be asking several coaches during the course of the call about the importance of voting and the fact that midterm elections are scheduled for tomorrow. If you would take a moment to express just how important this might be, and if this is something that maybe you've had a conversation with your players at some point up to this point, with respect to the importance of voting.
It's very important. And just last week, I think it was, what day was it? It was Tuesday. We marched with our whole team down to the polls. That's something that we take very seriously. And every spring, anytime they have voter registration, we have people come in to get all our guys signed up. Obviously, it's their choice, but we encourage it. And we had, a number of guys. It was over 45 guys that joined the march to go down to vote. So we take that very seriously. We try and explain our guys about, the importance of voting and not just wanting to stand in or march and do all this all the time, that their votes count. All of that stuff is important, but if you do all that and you don't vote, it doesn't matter.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Sims, as always, we sincerely appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we will go to Florida A&M. Head coach Willie Simmons, I do see Coach is joining us. Hey, good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning.
Coach Simmons, thank you so much, as always, for taking some time to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Southern?
Well, first off, I thought it was a really good football game, a great atmosphere. Obviously, whenever these two teams get together, there's always a lot on the line, and our fans understand that. And the rivalry goes a long way. And again, I tip my hat to Commissioner McClellan and the decision makers to decide to make this an annual game, even though we're in different divisions. And the game lived up to everything it was built to be. I thought they came in and played really hard, physical football, and obviously, the quarterback, did what he's done all season, which is hurt people with his legs. And I thought our defense did a really good job of controlling them, throwing the football. So we were able to limit their big plays in the passing game. And then offensively, we were able to do enough in the run game, not prolific numbers that we may have liked, but to be able to control the ball and have great balance. We ran the ball 35 times and threw it 34 times, which is right there where you want to be, around 50-50. And, so again, I thought as a whole, played a solid game. I was able to come away with a huge win to extend our home winning streak down to 15 games and our active winning streak to 7 games. So put that one to bed, and now we're back to go up against a really tough Alabama State team that's playing good football right now, their best ball. Winners of 3 straight. So we know they'll be ready for us to come. Rattler Nation's excited to travel to Montgomery, and I'm looking forward to another really good football game with a really good Alabama State football team.
Appreciate those comments, Coach Simmons. First question goes to Ken Rashad.
Coach Ken Rashad, HBCU Sports. With respect to your win, the one thing I do want to ask is you're in the middle of a winning streak, and there has been some level of consistency not only this year, but it's a winning streak that goes back to last season. When you look at what this team has done for the past couple of years, when you put in consideration the fact that the team is now, with the SWAC and so forth, talk about the assessment of how you've been able to be successful with wins, and basically talk about the transition from the MEAC to the SWAC, and just how you've been able to win games throughout the course of the season so far and the last couple of years?
Obviously, I don't do it alone. One, surrounded by a phenomenal group of coaches that pour into these young men every day, give blood, sweat, and tears, just like the players do. Great support staff that the unsung heroes, an administration that is supportive, and an alumni base that's supportive, and a group of guys that really buy into what we're trying to do every day. And that's really what it boils down to. So thankful to have such a strong culture here, and adversity doesn't really affect us the way that, maybe with some other teams, places, or you name it, because we do face our share of adversity here. But just the ability to continue to keep our eyes on the prize and understand the brand that we're attached to, and how important it is for us to go out every single day and represent that brand by the way we work and the way we go about our business. And I think that's why we've had the success that we've been able to have as opposed, and also bringing in some really good football players.
And as a follow-up, Coach, I do want to ask and get your thoughts about the importance of voting and the fact that midseason elections will begin on tomorrow. What are your thoughts and the importance of voting, and if any, has a message been relayed to your team with respect to the importance of voting?
Yeah, we've been talking about it now for a couple of weeks, and obviously we're at a school that supports advocacy. We've done it for years and years, and we know that people that look like us have fought, have bled, have even died for the right to go out and vote. And so anyone who doesn't exercise that, I think maybe doesn't fully understand what has to go into it to make this possible. And so we really try to convey that message to our players. That's why we try to educate them as much as we can. When we go on the road, try to do educational things. Right there in Montgomery, I was able to go to the Lynching Museum a few years back, and in process now trying to maybe even get to the Civil Rights Museum there, just to expose our guys to some of the struggles that we went through as a people, and maybe help them understand a little bit more why it's important to go out and exercise our voices.
I appreciate that, Coach. Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach Simmons, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm just waiting on my gift, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'll be waiting on it.
Yes, and it is coming. I must admit, I also like your pull over there. So maybe there's an exchange to take place. But with that being said, you're obviously an emotional guy in things, but usually on the field, you're pretty stoic. And I had a chance to watch the game, excellent game by both teams in that, obviously. But that would be the final touchdown that you had that put you up 27 to 16, I believe, or 26-16. I saw a little fist pump where you got a little excited and emotional. Talk about how that point in the game was emotional for you to see your team be successful on a third down conversion, which obviously was important in terms of what you were trying to get done to get the victory. But speak a little bit about that.
Well, I think people that know me on a day-to-day basis, would describe me as probably a laid-back guy. I don't show much emotion in many things, but thankfully the camera's not on me for 60 minutes. They kind of flashed to me game. If they stayed on me, you probably feel differently about that stoic comment because I do show a lot of passion and emotion during the game. I love what I do. I love Pete. I love watching our guys be successful because the work we put in, they deserve it. They deserve to go out and play well on Saturdays. And so when they make those big plays and they put our team in a position to win, it's a very exciting time. Our fans are excited. As coaches, we're excited. The players are excited. And that's what football does for us. It just gives us that feel-good moment, when maybe things aren't going so well in our personal lives. So, I sometimes I think I'm maybe a little bit too passionate in football, but I'd rather be that way than the other way around. And I reserve my stoic demeanor for all the other times in life. But in football, I'm gonna always try to be pretty passionate about what I do.
Point well taken. Follow-up question is about this next matchup. You alluded to it in terms of the fans being excited to go to Montgomery. Obviously, the proximity of this matchup can be something that really makes this exciting for both fans going back and forth to the home feature. And this year, it features two teams that are playing extremely well on win streaks themselves. Obviously, you come in the matchup 7-2, they're 6-3 in terms of what they're doing overall. And then there's just one game difference in terms of the conference standing as you chase with only 2 games left, Jackson State, without going into that part of it. Talk about why this game is important in terms of what you overall want to get done and some of the key matchups in terms of what you do with Xavier on the offensive side of the ball as a wide receiver and what they have as defensive backs that are very strong in terms of what they are able to play thus far this season.
Yeah, again, I have to tip my hat to Eddie and the job that he's done there, coming into year one and really changing that program. And they've done a phenomenal job, won some really big games. And, again, they're really setting the foundation there that's sustainable. And so for us, this game has a lot of implications. Our playoff push is on the line, our winning streak there, our conference standing, we're still a game back. So, something happens with Jackson and we want to be right there in position. And I think really the fact that we are two teams that have a lot to offer prospective student athletes, this game can have huge implications as far as recruiting, right? As to which program is, is top dog right now, right? And so there are enough reasons to get motivated for this game. And we talked to our guys about most of those, and we feel like we're on our way with the preparation to give ourselves the best chance to go up there and, hopefully pull off a big win in hostile territory.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matches this weekend. Good luck, and your package is in the mail.
Thank you.
Coach, we've got about 1 minute available in your session. We're going to take a final quick question from James Hill.
Hey, Coach. Good morning, James Hill. I hope you and all the gentlemen are well on the highest of 7 hills, and the ladies. But talk a little bit about the 7-game winning streak going in on the road to Montgomery, and just the fact that you want to play well defensively. Give us your assessment going in.
Well, going to the game, the emphasis is not the winning streak. The emphasis is being 1-0 by the time we leave Montgomery Saturday afternoon. And that's our focus. That's what we have to make sure we keep our mindset on. When you start looking at streaks and those type of things, you sometimes lose focus of the main thing. So we got to prepare to have our best week of practice. This is a big game of the season for us. and we got to make sure that we do everything right to give ourselves the best chance to be successful. And, we know that they're a great matchup. They're a great defensive team. They match up really well with us in a lot of areas. And so we have to do a great job of game planning, great job of trying to get our playmakers the ball in space and allow them to do what they do best, keep Jeremy clean and allow him to make great decisions.
Simmons, as always, we appreciate your time, sir, and we look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So we go to Grambling State head coach Hugh Jackson. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach Jackson, as always, we sincerely appreciate your time. If you could please start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Arkansas Pine Bluff.
It was great to get a win again at home for homecoming. A lot of family and friends and alumni there, so I thought it was a great opportunity for those people to see our football team and get a victory here at home. So it was great.
Appreciate those comments, Coach Jackson. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill. How's it going this morning, Coach Jackson?
Going well.
Had great offensive output in this game, particularly up from your rushing the ball. And Maurice Washington had put up 201 yards on 10 carries, as you know, averaging 20 yards a carry with a long of 75, getting in the end zone twice. Talk about his play and what makes him so special. And it seems that he's just getting stronger as he gets a little more healthier as well.
Absolutely. No, Maurice is, I think we all know, is a very talented player. He can score the football from anywhere, and he's shown that all year. And I think you said it best, when he's healthy and when he's practicing, I think he's as good as anybody there is in the league. And so we're excited to have him. We're excited what he's doing, and he needs to continue to do that for our football team.
Follow-up question is your next matchup. You went to Texas earlier this year in the Dallas to play Prairie. Now you're coming back to Texas, Houston, with Texas Southern University is playing pretty good football, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Talk about that matchup and what you've seen on film in terms of things that you need to get done for your team.
Oh, absolutely. I think Texas Southern has a fine defensive football team. They're a little unconventional. They do a lot of things, up front, secondary-wise. So we're going to have our best week of practice, really be focused and wired into the things we need to do to be successful on offense.
Thank you, Coach Jackson. Look forward to the matchup. See you there.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Morning, Coach. How you doing, sir?
Doing well.
Awesome. Coach Jackson, talk a little bit about the defensive performance on senior day, and it was also homecoming for the G-men, if you will.
No, I think our defense did an outstanding job. I mean, there were some times they did a great job of making sure that we did not give up points. There's times that Arkansas Pine Bluff had the ball at the plus territory, and our defense just stiffened. I've watched those guys get better week in and week out. Our linebackers are playing as well, as I've seen them play all year, talking about Lewis Matthews and Joshua Reed. And then you put Brian Powell and Sonny Annie Anderson into that mix. And, boy, we're playing some really good defense right now. We need to continue to do so and continue to grow.
Coach, going into Texas Southern, just talk a little bit about the offensive side of the ball and what you look to do when you go in there and just play a good, clean game.
Well, you just said it. I think we got to play as clean as we can. They do some things that doesn't allow it to be as clean, but we got to play really efficient. We got to do a great job of taking care of the football. Obviously, you got to run the football, but you also got to be able to throw it to score enough points. So we got to find a happy medium between the two, but we know it's a tall challenge. We're excited about the opportunity to go down there and play some good football.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Ken Rashad.
Coach Ken Rashad, HBCU Sports. James alluded briefly to Texas Southern's offense, but I do want to ask you specifically about their quarterback, Andrew Body. Talk about him, how to prepare for him, and any potential problems he may give your defense as you guys look forward to playing them on Saturday.
Well, he presents a problem first and foremost because he has the ability to run with the football and throw the football, and he knows how to orchestrate their offense at a high level. So it's a challenge, and then they have this defense that goes along with their offense that puts pressure on offensive football teams. So we got to go in as a team and play a real clean game, our best game of the season, have an opportunity to come away victorious.
Coach, as you look at the progression of this team during the course of the season, needless to say, you're streaking right now. You're on a 2-game winning streak. Have you seen improvement with this team as you've progressed during the course of the season? I mean, how do you assess the play of Calvez and his improvement since you first gave him the starting nod a few games ago?
Absolutely. I think the team has definitely gotten better. And I think once we settled on a quarterback, I think it really gave the players an opportunity to rally behind that particular player. And Calvez has done a good job. He's won games. And so that's what we're looking for. At the same time, he's got to continue to get better. He's got to continue to get better in our system and how we do things. And I'm sure he will. But I think our football team is a team that's, on the rise right now. I think our guys have worked extremely hard. I think, as I said a long time ago, they're getting to understand what we're looking for as coaches, and we know what we have as players. And I think that's starting to gel right now. I think that's what we're all seeing.
Andrew, permission for one more question?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Coach, I've asked all the questions to the other coaches about voting, and I just wanted to get your input on the significance of voting, the importance of voting in the midterm elections on tomorrow. And I guess I'm just curious to see if there's a question that or a discussion that may have had with your players and the importance of voting.
No, I think it's important. I think when you have a chance to have a voice and you're standing for change, it's important to get out and vote. I think all votes matter and count. Our players understand that. We want them to do that. Because you have a right and opportunity to do so, then you need to do it. So it is vital that we move change in the right direction. Only way you can do that is if people vote and make sure that they let their voices be heard.
Appreciate that, Coach. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Got time for one more question for Coach Jackson with Grambling State. All right. Coach Jackson, sir, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
A few minutes of our availability for Coach Treadwell with Arkansas Pine Bluff. We will pause. We'll return momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, we are attempting to reach Coach Treadwell with Arkansas Pine Bluff. We do appreciate everyone's patience. His availability is from 11:05 to 11:10, to 11:15. Working to reach him as we speak. Thank you for your patience.
We got
Morning, Coach.
what's going on, fellas?
Hey, Coach, how you doing, sir?
Awesome.
Coach, as always, appreciate you take some time to join us and actually right on time. So, Coach, if we could please, could you start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Southern?
First and foremost,
I'm sorry, Texas Southern. Yes, sir.
Yeah, TSU is well coached, put up a heck of a fight. Great character. We, usually when we play teams, we deal with all the foolishness and the talking back and forth. This coach did a great job. Very great character team. First sellout. TSU. I'm sorry. We're happy with that because we're happy with all the SWAC helping one another reach those pinnacles. We're proud of that. Fast start, 21 points in the first quarter, didn't score in the second quarter. Not indicative of how we get down. In the red zone, we scored 45 times. Held them to 3 out of 16 on third downs. We were penalized. That's not who we are. 13 for 113 yards. Quarterback, running backs, receivers played well. Cam Silman played well as well. Overall, it was a great effort. But it was a tremendous showing of support by TSU as well as Jackson State fans. It really was. Now, the traffic was horrendous getting out of there because of, thank God, Houston won the World Series, and God bless Texas. I'm a Texas resident as well, but God bless it. So I'm happy with how everything transpired.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach
Yes,
Prime, how's it going?
Awesome, my man.
Apologize that I didn't get a chance to talk with you after the game in the postseason. I had my son, 8 years old there, and he was ready to get through that crowd. He was excited about being at this matchup, seeing all the fanfare. So as you talked about, both teams playing really well, the capacity, and he's an Astro fan. He thinks he can play a little baseball too.
Yeah, well, trust me, we need more African-American kids with a bat in their hand, a baseball bat at that.
I'll make sure he knows that in terms of that. But continue to talk about your play, your running back, Wilkinson, in terms of what he was able to do. Very strong in that matchup, and the offensive line being able to get some push.
Well, you got to understand TSU surrendered, I think, over 190 yards a game for the season on an average. And we set our goals to go out there and run the ball, establish the run. They had a defense that they dropped 7 or 8 consistently. They didn't want Shador to shred them apart like a lot of teams are doing now. They're dropping into coverage and they're daring us to run, trying the physicality of our offense. Our offense was extremely physical. We ran the ball tremendously successful. We realized that Mr. Wilkinson was close to 200 yards, so we made sure he got that. He eclipsed that. And that was a collective effort, coaching staff, as well as the linemen and play calling. It was tremendous, and he ran his butt off. This kid is a pro, man. He's physical. He's tough. He can run outside the tackles. He can run inside the tackles. He don't lay the ball on the ground often. He could catch out at the backfield. He could block. He's a pro. He really is a pro. And his character is what I would really hang my hat on. This kid has tremendous character, never complains, never bickers. Remember, I think he was 6th string when he came over to us, and I just kept seeing flashes of, who is this darn kid? I wasn't familiar with him when he was on the 6th string or 7th string, something like that, but he worked his way up, and he's a great kid, and I'm proud of him.
Fascinating to hear the story of how he continues to work. Talking about working in dominance of this team and the mission that it's on. Your next matchup moving forward is against Alabama A&M. It's in Mobile. So you're back on the road in terms of what that looks like.
Yeah.
Talk about continue to move this team forward, and what do you want to see get done in that matchup against the Bulldogs?
Well, I want to be a lot more consistent. We need to lessen the penalties, the self-inflicted wounds. I mean, we had some penalties at some very opportune times, which troubled us a bit, and we can't fall prey to that. We got to be truly dominant. The way we started out the game, we got to continue that throughout the whole game. And it would be crazy the way we could perform. We're still chasing that, having a valiant effort offensively, defensively, as well as special teams. But we have all the intangibles. We have to put it together. And I know it seems crazy that we're sitting where we're sitting. I'm still saying we got to put it together, but that's how we go about our business. That's how we practice. That's how we prepare. That's the expectation. I haven't falsified anything from you to you guys, you and you ladies. You know, from day one, I've been saying we got to dominate. That's the only way we're going to get to the ultimate goal of these guys going into the NFL and us winning it all is to be dominant. And that's what we're chasing right now.
Look forward to the matchup. Thank you for your time, Coach Brown.
I look forward to this matchup as well. I can't wait.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach Prime, how you doing, sir?
Excellent, my man.
My man, talk a little bit about Shedeur Sanders, his development. He continues to carve him up. Each week he goes out and plays high quality football.
Well, Shedeur's consistency speaks volumes. His leadership ability, as well as me leaving on a Thursday, getting ready to go home, probably 5 o'clock, and I look out there and I'm seeing Shedeur walking on the practice field with his receivers to go over routes, to make sure they got the checks and balances, to make sure they're where they're supposed to be. And it's unbelievable. I mean, when a coach is going home and you see that's a recipe of success. You don't see that much. A lot of people talk about it, but they're not about it. And a lot of people don't have the leadership ability to influence your whole receiving core to go out there with a center, a bag full of balls to go out there and get it done. So that speaks volumes of this kid and the way he prepares for the game. He's a bona fide leader. He's a coach's kid, so he knows the game. But I love how prepared he is for each contest. He's really prepared for each contest. And many people are dropping 7 or 8 into coverage on him to see if they could force us into doing something that they don't think we're balanced enough to do, and that's run the football successfully. And then when we catch you blitzing and going to man, we take advantage of it because we have a receiving core that's unbelievable. We played with that Dallas Daniels last week, and most people forgot. But I didn't forget. I texted him right after the game and make sure he's okay and make sure he know we still love him. And we can't wait till he fully heals because I don't want him coming out to half stepping because he has tremendous film this season. And speaking of Shedeur, also, I just saw a statistic. I have a scouting service scout our guys, so I would know. I like to know where we are. So I have another service scout us so they could tell me what the thought is out there. And if we eliminate the drop balls, his completion percentage would be around 80% or 82%. Just think about that.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah, but that shows the accuracy, and he's getting it there. But I mean, drops are coming; they coincide with the game, so that's going to happen.
Coach, you've maintained, and of course, we know you're happy at JSU and focusing on the Tigers' way of football. But every time there's a job that comes up, they throw your name around. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think that's a blessing, isn't it? I mean, just imagine if every time there was a job at the Wall Street Journal or Sports Illustrated or ESPN and they threw you guys' name around. That's a compliment. That's not nothing derogatory. That's a blessing because I can't remember when they did. Can you ever remember when African-American coach from HBCU name was thrown around in the Power Fives? I don't recall it. So to me, that's progress. So let's take it for what it is and let's enjoy it and let's really just say, okay, now let's see how we could translate this into bigger things for us. So that's the way I think about it. And I'm excited about it, but it is not deterring me. It does not distract me. I am so locked in and focused right now. I don't know what to do. I'm at home. I'm at the crib now because I had to shoot a commercial. I told my team that. And Coach Zimmer's son, I'm being there for him at the funeral tomorrow here in Dallas. So that's why the background is somewhat different.
Coach, in closing, moving forward, next stop, Alabama A&M, life after Mr. Glass, but it's all about JSU. Just talk about going in there and playing football game.
We don't take them lightly. They're a well-coached team. You know that. I mean, this is a team of 2 seasons away from being the, it was a reduced season champion. So we got to give them their credit. They did that. They won and they did it fair and square. And we got to go in there and approach them like they're at that level, because anybody could be had in the SWAC, and you know that in football period. So we're going to go in there and try to pick up where we left off and try to be dominant, pick up where we left off a year ago, pick up where we left off this past week, and pick up where we left off last week. We're going to go in there and try to beat the brakes off them. That's just who we are. They're going to try to do the same. There's nothing disrespectful about that. That's how we go about our business. I don't dislike any coaches. I don't dislike any players. I'm not built like that. Do I want to beat everyone down? Truly so. But it doesn't make me feel better beating this team or that coach than anyone else. I want to win, and I want to win for our kids and our fan base. We have a tremendous fan base. We have a tremendous group of men inside the locker room and women, and that's why we want to be dominant, so these kids can get to the next level.
Have a blessed week, Coach.
You too, my man.
Last question goes to Ken Rashad.
Coach, at 9-0, you're undefeated, and obviously so far it's been a perfect season, if you will. But if you look at a team like this, would you consider this if you were looking at a team like this, is the team a work in progress? I mean, do you think that there is something that this team needs to? I guess what I'm asking is this a team that is looking for the right for answers in terms of is this a team that you're looking for
you talking about? You got me lost now, dog. You got to come on with it now. You got what you talking about? Like, are you talking about us?
Forgive me, Coach.
No, you good. Are you talking about us?
Yes.
Or Alabama?
I'm asking you if all for all of the good team, your play is it's a work in progress. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we're definitely not where we want to be. You could say record-wise, a lot of people would love to be where we are, but as far as executing, no, we had 13 penalties, man. I mean, that's not us. We didn't even score in the second quarter. That's not us. Like, we got to clean that kind of stuff up if we want to end up where we want to end up, and that's an O. We plan on being an O. I don't know how many wins and O. Matter of fact, let me throw this out at you guys. I always try to give you something to run with. You're getting ready for bowl season. Do your homework. If any of my guys are on here, help me out with this. I forgot how many number of teams there are in bowl games. I know that's a bunch of them. Somebody could give me the number. It's a crazy, exuberant amount of teams that have the opportunity to play in a bowl. Why can't that be us? I'm just saying, why can't that be us? You got teams that are virtually 6-5 going to a bowl game. Ain't nobody going to see them play. Ain't nobody turning the channel to witness the foolishness. But you have us that travels deep, travels heavy. Not only that you have us as a people that when one of our schools gets selected by one of these wonderful Fortune 500 companies that are the title sponsor to a bowl game, we will support collectively. Now, it is not then, if you select us to go into this particular bowl game, it's not us against FAM or us against Bethune or it's us together against everybody. That's how we look at it as a people. So I'm just sitting up here trying to find out to one of these wonderful sponsors, wouldn't we be a better option than a 6-5 team in any bowl game? Because we travel deep. You know the numbers that we project whenever we're on television. So why would you not come to us desiring to have us in a bowl game? Now, this is after the Celebration Bowl. Let's get that straight. That's a goal, the celebration. This is after that. This is a New Year's Day bowl game that we would love to have an opportunity to play in. Along with FAMU and some of the other wonderful teams that are doing some wonderful things. Why? Is there a rule or that's just a choice? Because all these companies that are endorsing or the title sponsor of these bowl games, if you do the dynamics on what we bring to the table, what we project television-wise, what the capacity that we could attract, I think we check the box in all levels. So why can't that be us? So now what we need to do, I need you guys to help me with all the pre-New Year's Eve day bowl games, and let's just look at all of them. And just go down the line. And then I'm gonna start calling them. You know, like I don't think Pepsi has a bowl game. But just say, for instance, one of my sponsors, a Pepsi has a bowl game wherever. Wouldn't you want it to be us? Because of what we bring to the table, especially if it's pre-New Year's Day. And then there's also a purse that comes with that game that we would love to have that can help us as a program tremendously. But not only that, give our kids some exposure and expose them to other things in life where they get to go somewhere for 3 or 4 days in another city and just have a wonderful time, as well as prepare to dominate that game. I'm just throwing that out there, ladies and gentlemen. And I need your legs and your pens and your fingers to get to it. You know how we are when we work together. When we work together, boy, we can do anything. Just a question that we're gonna throw out there.
Coach Sanders, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next up, we go to Mississippi Valley State head coach Vincent Dancy. I do believe we have Coach with us. Coach Dancy, sincerely appreciate your patience. Sure, I know that we're behind schedule, so we do appreciate your patience with us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Alabama A&M.
I thought it was a well-played football game, nationally televised. I thought our guys stepped up when their number was called. And they stepped up in all 3 phases. I thought offensively, we executed better than we've executed all season. Defensively, we stepped up with two big turnovers when we needed it. And special teams, man, our kicker was phenomenal this game. 48-yard field goal. I think he was 3 for 4 in field goals made. So I thought it was overall, I thought we played a great game. But I thought A&M played hard and they played physical as well. Just an overall great showing on national TV for our conference.
Appreciate those comments, Coach Dancy. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta, Dr. Vill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Dancy.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. I see the smile. It's good to see you get that victory. Your team's played hard. Defense has been there pretty much all season, but the offense came to the party a little bit more this game, particularly Jelani Eason, 177 total yards, as you know, 3 touchdowns. Did have the interception, but he rebounded and played well. Really what I saw is the rushing attack, being able to put up 210 yards total, spread the ball around with several guys carrying the rock. Talk a little bit about what you were able to do offensively, particularly with Eason and a couple of your running backs really being solid in this matchup.
I thought our quarterback played phenomenal, man. He's a young man that has been leading this team since 2020 COVID season. Really was excited to have him back. He's been out, since week 3 with a broken hand. So it was great to have him back and leading his team out there. I think they rallied around this young man. He's a young man. He's an older guy. He understands the game, understands what we're looking for as coaches. So he was just able to make things happen with his arm and also with his legs. He came up big with some clutch runs. But we just wanted to pound the ball. That's what we do. Featured a lot of running backs this game. Wanted to be able to wear those guys down. They're big up front, big physical team up front, and we wanted to be able to wear them down up front, but also being smart enough to know once they load the box,
and our quarterback was smart enough to know to get us out of those runs and get some one-on-ones on the outside with some receivers that I've been waiting on, and I'm quite sure they've been waiting on to step up and make some big plays. So overall, it was just great to see us just have some success out there and, lead the game and and just, kind of take control of the game and lead the game the whole game and rely on our running game at the end to close it out for us.
As you said, your wide receiver, Ja'Cory Rankin, has been solid all year. Small in terms of size, dominion, but he's powerful and strong, particularly with that pass he came down with. But you turn the page and you get over to Southern now. You're on the road, Baton Rouge, as you are familiar with that place. Talk about what you want to see your team offensively continue to do, particularly in this matchup, in terms of what many people think a very tough front seven going up against the Jaguars of Southern University.
Just continue to improve. I think for the past 2 weeks, we've been improving offensively drastically, being able to score a lot of points. And once we're able to score points, it helps our defense out a lot. It keeps them off the field. It keeps them fresh. But it also gives them something to go out and compete about, even though they shouldn't need any help with that. But it helps out a lot when they see our offense having some success. But just being able to have a balanced attack again. I know they're a big team up front, a big physical team that we're going against again, but it's nothing new for us. I think all season long we faced it. We just got to do what we do, and that's continue to go out and compete and play hard and finish this season out strong. Like I tell them every week for these seniors who put in a lot of work and help this program get to the point where it's at now, where we're competing with a lot of good football teams in this conference.
Thank you, Coach Dancy. Look forward to the matchup. Good
yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach, I hope you and everybody in the Delta are well. Congratulations on that victory. Talk about Mr. Gardner and Mr. Campbell as they were able to make some plays for you.
Oh, man, Cam Gardner, I mean, it's just something we've been waiting on, man. I mean, he's got the size, he's got tremendous size, 6'3", 6'4" receiver. We just been waiting for him to step up in some of these big time moments. We knew he had it. He practiced hard. He goes about his business the right way. Loves the football game, but he also continues to work hard. Some guys, especially when the season not going the way you want it to go, some of them are, just relax and just wait till the season over. But these guys continue to work hard and continue to compete every day at practice. Not only him, Ja'Cory Rankin, a lot of guys, man, they continue to strive and work hard and want better, not only for themselves, but for the program. So I'm super excited about the way these young men has handled this year and just continue to fight and compete, man. And that's something we preach on, and that's something that we talk about every day. But just super excited for those young men.
Coach, the national TV spotlight on the SWAC and definitely on Mississippi Valley State. Talk a little bit about how special that was for your last home game.
I mean, I think it's always special when you could play on, ESPN or any televised game. It gives the world, it lets the world know, who you're about, what your university is about. I'm quite sure throughout the commercials they feature the university. So it's just so important to go out and put on a great showing for a nationally televised game. But it also helped these young men out and so they can showcase their talent. So just was super excited that we got the W. It was long time waiting, but I knew we could do it because we've been competing hard and working our tails off every day of the week throughout practice. But just happy that it was the result showed on Thursday night.
Coach Dancy, now it's time for a Texas two-step, if you will. The first stop is Mumford as you see Southern. And then I know Prairie View is down the line, but just talk a little bit about the Jags and how special it can be to line up against scrimmage against Southern.
Oh man, been in this conference a while. I've been knowing Coach Dooley for a long time, and I know that, man, he's a great offensive minded coach. Not only that, just a great football coach. The things he's done throughout the course of his years in this conference speaks for itself. So, I know it's going to be a good matchup. I know he's going to have his team ready to play. So we just look forward to going down there and playing these, at Southern, but also, you know, the last game against Prairie. You don't want to look too far, but gotta take care of Southern first. But I know it's gonna be a great football game. Two good physical teams going at it, and can't wait to see it, and can't wait to get down there and play that game.
Next question goes to Jim Klein-Peter.
Hi, Coach. Would you talk a little bit about how you want to attack Southern's defense? They got a pretty strong front seven. You're a team that wants to run the ball first. And what do you do when you're against a front seven like that?
You figure out ways to run the ball. We're not going to stop running the ball because, you know, they're a strong front seven. I think you got to play the game first. I think we faced a lot of strong front sevens throughout the course of this season, and we've been still able to, you know, to tally up some rushing yards. So, you know, of course, we want to start up for, you know, it starts up front first. We want to be able to, you know, knock them around a little bit up front so we can loosen them up. And you know, and like I say, you know, with Jelani Eason back, a guy who we depend on, a guy who has a lot of experience. You know, he's able to get us in and out of different fronts that we see that's not what we're looking for in the run game. So just being able to you know, just playing the game first, just seeing how the game goes, and we see how the game goes, and then we adjust from there.
You had success against Coach Dooley when he was at Prairie View last year. You won a game toward the end of the year. What about defending his offense? What are some of the keys to that?
Slowing down the passing game. Yeah, they got a great running attack, especially with the quarterback. He's a very elusive kid, and of course we got to contain that young man. But you know, ever since I've known Coach Dooley, he's had a prolific passing attack, and you know, we're a defense that want to stop the run. Of course, we want to hold opponents under 100 yards rushing. We want to be able to shut the run game down, but we got to focus on the passing game because they can beat you, you know, in that area. So, you know, just going out and have a great week of practice and working on some of the things that we see on film that they like to do. He's a vertical passing guy, and we want to stop those guys from getting down the field and stretching our defense out. And but number one is stopping the QB and his running and the running attack that he has, because I think anytime you got a running quarterback, that can really hurt you as a defense.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Any final questions for Coach Dancy with Mississippi Valley State? Coach Dancy, we sincerely appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we go to Prairie View A&M and head coach Bubba McDowell. I do see that we have Coach with us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Coach McDowell, as always, we appreciate you taking some time to join us. If you could please start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Alcorn State.
Yeah, I think it was a great opportunity to showcase two good football teams, power running football teams on national TV. Great football game, both went into overtime. Again, I hope the fans enjoyed it. I know Coach McNair enjoyed it, as well as he should be, because again, it was a team. His team came out and played hard-nosed football for 4 quarters. They made the plays when they needed to make plays. We didn't capitalize on plays or situations that we needed to capitalize on throughout the course of the game. That would have given us a chance to win the football game. I thought offensively we made some crucial mistakes, you know, third down situations during the course of the game. Defensively, again, same deal. We couldn't tackle for some reason that night. Again, giving all kudos to Howard. We knew what he was all about coming into this game. We knew it was going to be a running, physical football game, and you know, we had to tackle this young man. You know, he's 218 to our 109. You know, played a big difference. You know, again, we played good defense. We stopped them 3 times in the red zone to get again 3 field goals, but apparently that wasn't enough going into the 4th quarter and again going into overtime. We had opportunities, you know, missed field goal, block punt, That hurt us a little bit, but again, our defense stood up, held them to 3, and of course that drop ball in overtime that again would have gave us an opportunity to at least take it into the second overtime if it was necessary. But again, my hat's off to Coach McNair. Guys played a heck of a football game, power football game, and again, we just got to get better going into this week and just again regroup and get ready to play a good football team down there in Arkansas.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach McDowell. First question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and the fellas are well. Talk a little bit about Trayvon and his development and what you see at the quarterback position.
I mean, he's definitely developing, doing what we ask him to do. And again, we just got to give him time. We've been really good offensively, protecting him up until this game. For whatever reason, we didn't protect him as well as we should have, and as well as the coaching staff, of course, offense anyway, and myself wanted to. The kid was running, pretty much for his life, throughout the course of that second half. And, again, they had a great game plan. They had a great game plan, dropping 8 on us, sometimes 9, spying him and made us do some things that he normally don't do. And again, taking the passing game away from him and then try to see if he was going to beat him with his legs. And but again, he's still developing. And I think as he continues to get better, with looks, reads, he's going to be a dynamic quarterback, as well as him and many of our players. Once they figure it out and the more they see it, the more reps they get at doing what they do. And we're talking about specific skill sets. They're going to get better. But again, it's just about them, getting it done, in the throughout the course of the weekend practice, and transitioning that into game time again to help us win.
Coach, moving forward, next stop, Pine Bluff. They've had a coaching change, but some of the student athletes are still there. When you look at Skylar Perry and Britton and some of the things they like to do, just talk a little bit about Pine Bluff and some of the things you want to try to take away from them, if you can, without going into detail on your game plan.
Yeah, I mean, again, we just got to go out. We always have a game plan going into, each team, and Pine Bluff is no different. We know, going down there, these guys going to play football. Again, as I told our guys last night in practice, we got to go down there and just get back to playing football the way we're capable of playing. We got to minimize the mistakes, the errors that we've been occurring the last several games, and we'll be okay. They're a good football team. Make no mistake about it. As I've said many times, on any given Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the best team that comes to play is the team that's going to win the game. The best team that is prepared to go out and win the game. It's a team that's going to win. We got to get back, to preparing our kids, to play a good football team.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed week.
Thank you, JH.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta with Dr. Cavill inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach McDowell.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, all things being said, you kind of opened up your statement with the ups and downs of that last game.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities in a lot of ways, but also congratulating Alcorn for coming in with the tough team and getting it done. You played on Friday, so your results were in terms of the race tightening, obviously. But then again, on Saturday, things fell in such a way that you still ultimately have the 1-game lead. How is your team emotionally going through that roller coaster? Can you get a feel of the pulse of the team about this new opportunity, I guess, coming into the last 2 games? They control their destiny in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they're optimistic. They're ready to go. They know that this football god is not going to continue to bless us. That's for sure. We got to take advantage of the situation, and they're a bunch of guys that can do it. Again, we just got to get out there and just play Prairie football. mistake-free football as much as possible, being consistent in what we do, man. And if we do that, again, I try to get them back. I hate to go back, to certain games, but I'm like, God, where's that team that, that we play against Lamar, for 4 quarters of football? And that's what we need. If we go out and execute, stop giving up, crucial, making crucial penalties and mistakes in crucial times, we'll be okay. It's not like we don't know what to do. Now we just got to go out and do it consistently.
Obviously, the next 2 are on the road. You start with the first one, which is Pine Bluff Golden Lions divisional matchup. Talk about what you want to see from your team in that matchup in regards to, particularly from offense. You still have Skylar Perry, a senior, that's leading that team, and they may not have had the season thus far they wanted, but he's very dangerous and a capable player of getting things done against your defense.
Yeah, Skylar is, and again, I haven't played against him several times. I know this kid can go out and make things happen, and
Yes,
we
sir.
as a defense, we gotta, do our due diligence, as a staff, get these guys ready to go, prepare for him, and try to make some stops consistently. Are we capable of doing it? Absolutely. But again, we just got to go out and do what we do. And I keep saying, just play Prairie football, good, assignment football, and we'll be okay. And of course, we got to get better at tackling. We've had in the past, we hadn't been great tackling, but we've been so fast. You guys hear me talk about being such a fast team. One guy missed, 2 guys missed, but the other guy is there. We got to get back to that brand of football. We didn't show that this past weekend. And again, maybe because he was a bigger back, but if we get back to tackling and being sound football team defensively, we should be okay. And I have that kind of confidence in our guys, defensively. Like I said, we're fast, we're athletic. We just got to play like we've been playing, early on in the season, and again, that's just good assignment football. Offensively, shoot, we get back to running that thing. We'll get Ahmad back, Antoine back this week, and an extra back there to help Big Stu out, and Connor and Mosley, get back that running attack that we've had in previous games.
Thank you, Coach McDowell. Look forward to the matchup. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Doc.
Last question goes to Kyle Mosley.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
What's up, KT? What's going on, man?
Oh, good. Look, interesting matchup. It's brother against brother again. The Evans brothers going toe-to-toe match. I talked to those guys earlier in the preseason, and they've been looking forward to going up against one another. But Mark is classified as a NFL-type left tackle, possibly a guard. Talk a little bit about him and what you have seen from him over the years.
Just consistent play. He's one of those guys, again, that has the ability and talent to go to the next level. He's very, in order to be good and to get on that next level, you got to be consistent in what you do. And he's been very consistent over the years at Pine Bluff. No question about that. The young man is a great athlete. He's going to be, I think, in the near future, he's going to be even a better pro player as well. As far as us, in order to help our cause against a good athlete like that, we got to mix it up. We got to do some stunts. We got to do some things that they're not used to seeing, and try to keep them off balance, But as well as I know, if you're a good player, no matter what, you're gonna do what you need to do to make sure that that your opponent stays off balance. And he's that type of kid, man. Again, we look forward to the challenge going up against him and the rest of the team, and again, we want to come out victorious. But again, in order for us to do that, we gotta put 11 guys on that football field defensively, doing their jobs, and doing it good and doing it consistently, for 4 quarters.
All right. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Gal, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. We now go to Southern University. Eric Dooley. You see that we have. Morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Great, Coach. Give us 1 second, Coach. Let's just get your Coach, could you move your screen just a tad? That's perfect. Thank you so much, Coach. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Florida A&M.
Yeah, I went down to Florida, which we know was going to be a tough contest when you talk about a well-coached football team and a team that was playing extremely great football at that time. But I do commend my guys. We didn't come out, unfortunately, we didn't come out the way we wanted to, but the guys fought for 60 minutes, and that's something that we always going to continue to teach and go after. But well-played football game. At the end of the day, we didn't do what we needed to do to win the game. So those are some things that we have to correct and get better at.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. First question goes to Jim Klein.
Yeah, Coach, Bashawn McCray was shaken up at the end of that game, and I was wondering if is there any doubt about him playing this week?
No, he was at practice this morning running around like, oh, Bashawn. When you talk about a physical contest such as last Saturday, those things are going to happen, but just the end of the year, so I don't think anyone is 100% right now, but it was just something that he was able to shake off. He actually could have gone back into the game, but if you have a guy that came in and looked like he didn't miss a beat, why move him out of off the field?
Well, as a follow-up, are you going to consider with 2 games left, are you going to consider maybe playing another quarterback? Deshaun has struggled the last two weeks out.
No, situations dictates that. Long as Bashawn is healthy right now, we compete every week in practice. As of right now, Bashawn would still go out as the starting quarterback. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're just going to continue to go. When Bashawn is playing well, he's playing well. So everyone want to know he's doing this, he's doing that. Now he had a couple of games where I guess he didn't do the things that he did in the past. No, that's no need for a change. We're going to continue to scratch where it itch at, and that's not one of the places where it's all itching at right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and the guys are well. You get an opportunity moving forward to return to Mumford and play Mississippi Valley State. Just talk a little bit about home cooking is good and just playing a football game at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a chance to rest and not have to, I guess, go the distance, whatever. Guys can be well rested, but we know it's going to be a challenging contest. When you talk about Coach Dancy, again, he alluded knowing me a while, and I've been knowing him for a while, and he's always been a hard-nosed football coach that's going to have his team ready to go. So we look forward to the challenge, and just got to be prepared for a football team that's going to come in with being hungry.
Coach, why is this game important? Every Saturday is an important game, but why is this particular game against Valley a big game?
Well, you said it. You probably answered your question. I think every game that you play is important, whether it's your first or your last, and regardless of the records. I think every game is important because you get another game to get one game better. You get another game to go 1-0, and I think everybody inspired to go 1-0. So every game is important to us. And another way that we look at it is it's a cliche, but and it doesn't take any disrespect, but because it's the next game.
Coach, in closing, defensively, is there anything you would like the Jags to do as you move forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Start back scoring some touchdowns for us. It helps us out a great deal. But they're playing exceptionally football. You know, we know every game you're not going to get touchdowns by defense. It's just been a blessing for us to have that to take place. But I think they just got to continue to do what they do and get better and know that, you know, things are going to happen. But I think they always stand up for the challenge and play for 60 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. You talked about wanting to get in the end zone instead of settling for field goals. Certainly could understand that derivative from a coaching perspective. But in that vein, can you talk a little bit about going back and looking at the film, just seeing what things that you may be able to change a little bit to make a play here or there to get in it?
We saw some things that we missed that should have put us in the end zone, but you know, that's part of that cliche we use. We got to scratch where it is at. Those things right there, we could have executed on it and we didn't. And that's nothing against no one else. We just got to make sure that we take care of our business, and I think we'll be okay. So We had an opportunity to go out this morning after watching tape and see some of the things that we need to correct, some of the things that was there for us, and we did execute. I'm going to always say this here. If you don't execute at a high level and you're playing against a good football team, it's going to be real tough to win.
Exactly. And you talking about executing at a high level, that has to happen in your next matchup at home against Mississippi Valley. They got their first win of the season, so obviously they're feeling good about it. But more importantly, they were more productive, both in terms of running the ball and being able to pass with a little more balance in terms of what that looks like. But the key to that game in a lot of ways was some of the key turnovers they had. And you also had some key turnovers in your matchup against FAMU. Can you talk about the necessity to keep those turnovers down in any matchup, but particularly this weekend against Valley?
Absolutely. I think when you talk about a Mississippi Valley team now, and you say that they started off the season, now they're back to who they were because they got their starting quarterback back. So now it brings on a different dynamic. Now they can be balanced and do some of the things that they envisioned them doing in the beginning of the season. But the turnover thing is always is like a migraine. It's a headache that hurts big, and you gotta watch where those turnovers was timely turnovers that we did face, and we can't turn the football over regardless of who we playing. My mindset is to not have any turnover. I know folks are okay with one or two. I'm never okay with a turnover. I don't think we should turn the football over. It's ball security at the highest every day for us. So that's the things we got to do, and we got to create turnovers. So we know it's going to be real tough with them getting their quarterback back. He's healthy. He might be the one that's 100% because he haven't played much. So we know it's a challenge for us.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup. Great points.
Thank you, Doc.
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Coach Dooley, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we go to Texas Southern and head coach Clarence McKinney. I believe that we have Coach with us.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Coach. Let me just get your video.
Yeah, there you go.
Good to go there. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, thank you for taking some time to join us. If you could please start us with an opening statement regarding your team's most recent outing versus Jackson State.
Yeah, played a very talented and well-coached Jackson State team. Thought we played really tough for about 2.5 quarters, but our issues came where we couldn't stay on the field offensively. We couldn't get off the field defensively. Didn't start fast. We pride ourselves in starting fast, and we didn't finish strong. Thought we had some opportunities that we didn't take advantage of, but things didn't work out the way we would have liked.
Appreciate those comments, Coach McKinney. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta, Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Don't want to belabor the point, and let me make this clear. I don't want you to answer this in a way where you have to worry about checking your back pocket, your checkbook, but have you had a chance to talk to the officials, the official football coordinator, I should say, not the official, but the coordinator, in regards to just some key things in that matchup?
Yeah, well, we've sent in some videos of certain plays that we have questions about. We're waiting for them to respond. So,
all right, perfect. We'll move on.
We haven't received that response yet.
Yeah, right there. We'll move on. We don't want to get you in trouble there. But on a serious note, in terms of your balance of your offense, one of the things was, as you talk about, being able to stay on the field. You're only 3 of 16 in terms of efficiency. And when needed, you also went for it on 4th down and 2 for 4. So a little bit better there. Talk about what you see schematically on your offense that you want to get done that allows you to be a little better on your 3rd down efficiency and 4th down if necessary.
Just overall better execution. We need to block better. We need to throw the ball. We need to catch better. We need to run the ball better. Just overall execution of the plays that we're running.
Heading into next week, you're back at home, confines of being at home after being on the road all first part of the season. And obviously we'll see how you play much better with those home contests. But you're also playing Grambling that has played pretty well over the last couple of weeks. So you have 2 teams that are playing some really good football. They're able to rush the ball. Talk about what you see schematically in terms of what they're doing on film, particularly Maurice Washington and how effective he has been in running the ball. What do you want to do with your defensive front that has become stronger, just as we witnessed against Jackson State in terms of making some key plays, not necessarily in terms of the rush, but what do you want to see them get done in this matchup particularly?
Yeah, Grambling playing really, really well as of late. And so we have our hands full with those guys. They run the ball extremely well. Big guys up front, one of the best running backs in our league. And it's going to be a challenge. And our guys got to stand up to the challenge. And we have got to force Grambling to become one-dimensional. We got to stop the run and make them, have to beat us throwing the ball.
Thank you, Coach McKinney. Look forward to the matchup this weekend. Good luck.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Dr. Bill.
Hey, Coach McKinney, I hope you and the gentlemen are doing well. Talk a little bit about how important this matchup is against Grambling for the West, for the standings. This is a great opportunity to win a game. And obviously, there's a logjam, so to speak, but just talk about how important this game is for everybody.
Yeah, it's very important for us because it's the next game, and we want to win the next game on our schedule. Since I've been here, we hadn't had a win over Grambling State yet, but we have another opportunity. They're playing extremely well. We feel like we're playing really well. I think it's going to be a tremendous matchup with a lot on the line. If some things happen later in this season, who knows what'll happen as far as the SWAC West standings go. Our guys are focused on the end of this week, the game at the end of this week, and whatever happens at the end of the season won't matter if we don't take care of business this weekend.
Coach, in terms of the health and the condition of the players, the student athletes, what's the status of the health of your football team?
Yes, it's late in the year. Everybody's beat up, banged up. That's everybody in the country. After you play 7, 8, 9 games, you're not going to be healthy. But our training staff has done a tremendous job of getting those guys back as close to healthy as possible. Our guys have done a tremendous job of taking care of their bodies and going to the weight room and trying to prevent further injuries. And we're going to put the best product out on the field and see what happens.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
Yes, sir.
Last question goes to Cal Mosley.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good. How's it going, Cal?
Good. And I know it was a tough loss, but you guys did fight. You guys were close 14-21 at one point, and things kind of turned from there after that play with Tariq. I'm not going to talk about that, but as far as the offense is concerned, do you believe that there's you talked about execution could be an issue. What about the play calling? Is there something that you guys can do to improve that?
I don't think there's an issue with the play calling. No matter what plays you run, you got to go out and execute them. We're running the same plays that we've run all year and the last few years where we were one of the top ranked offenses in the country. And so it's just a matter of executing. When you go back and look at last season, I think we finished in the top 20 offensively. It's the same plays. So we just got to go out and execute them. If when you look at our offense, we're young at the perimeter position, the receiver. So it's just a matter of those guys stepping up and making plays for us, which they've started to do. And we're starting to execute a little bit better offensively. We just need to show some consistency.
As far as the receivers, Masters, I believe he's a freshman, correct?
Yes, sir. He's a true freshman.
He's a true freshman, but he had a pretty big play. Is there any way that you guys are looking to try to get him more involved into the offense?
Yeah, we try and get him involved every week. It's a matter of he and Andrew being on the same page, and Andrew feeling comfortable enough with him to make those plays. And if he continue to make plays like he made, Andrew's going to look for him a lot more.
Okay.
I think that's the way it goes. You got to show the quarterback that you can make plays for him, and he'll have more confidence in you.
Okay, awesome. Congratulations. I think you guys are still in the running, and look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thank you.
Coach McKinney, as always, we appreciate your time. We look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. That are participating on the call, we had an adjustment to the schedule. Coach Don Treadwell with Arkansas Pine Bluff had an engagement, obviously was unable to log on during his normal availability. So Coach Sanders with Jackson State filled his time slot where Arkansas Pine Bluff's coach normally goes. We've been trying to reach Coach Treadwell to see if we could arrange getting him set up for the end of our call, but we've been unsuccessful in arranging his availability for today. So unfortunately, it looks like we will not have Coach Treadwell with Arkansas Pine Bluff join us. So this will end our call for today. We'll send the recording out here momentarily. As always, for all of our media that are participating, we appreciate your participation in these calls. Look forward to speaking to you each next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.